You're listening to Rockland News, available on Apple, Spotify, and online at rocklandnews.com. Thanks for joining us today. Here are your hosts, Tom Osa and Mike Kluger.
Hot Mike, hot Mike.
Cold, 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 cold Mike. This mic is cold because it is cold outside.
And we want to thank you for waking up adequately enough after the big game yesterday.
The really big show.
We got a whole bunch of stuff happening. Today we're going to talk about, unfortunately, former Rockland County legislator Dennis Troy passed away at the age of 78. Freezing cold was no match for the Stony Point Seals charity event yesterday. They did their 27th annual plunge. We'll be talking about that. North Rockland Chamber of Commerce was honored for community advocacy recently, and we'll also be discussing a few different things happening, such as Lewis Black being over in Nyack. I'm your host, Tom Osa.
And I'm Mike Kluger.
And thanks for joining us today on AM Rockland. Let me turn off the music like I usually do.
Citizens and listeners, layers upon layers on this cold, cold week.
Seriously.
Other than Wednesday, it does not look like it is going to get past freezing until the weekend, and then it's going to snow on us again.
Yeah, most indeed.
So, folks, keep your shovels and your salt handy. Keep your heaters. Tell O&R to scratch, I guess, because they're a bunch of jerks and like to overcharge us during the winter.
Well, I mean, objectively speaking, it has been noted by multiple sources that people's energy bills have gone up over the past several months.
Well, I'm talking more about the fraudulent bills and the fees that the company likes to charge and then not do anything about.
Let me dial that back a little bit. Allegedly.
Not allegedly. I have proof. I got papers.
Okay, so you, all right, but we're going to
corroborate. I'm going to say this again. You cannot charge me a late fee if I have a negative balance.
Could it have been a clerical error?
Not for 5 months. And when I called and asked them about it, they said, oh, well, we can't do anything about that right now. Well, you'll have to wait. While they're charging me more late fees, pushing it off. And when I call them back again, they're like, what are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
So customer service over Orange and Rockland needs something going on, because not just myself, other citizens are having equal issues. And I encourage them to call into Rockland News, because we have a news article here about how our power company likes to take advantage of its citizens. It does.
Yeah. So we're happy to investigate it and see if, there are merits to the the claim that you mentioned. And it sounds like there's some sharp evidence to point to that. And perhaps we can help to get to the bottom of it, Mike.
That would be lovely, because, again, Orange and Rockland has not been good. They haven't.
Indeed. Well, we got a lot of news to cover today. And, Mike, would you like to go over the weather first?
Cold. Okay. How cold is it?
It was so cold that my beak froze down at the Stony Point Seals polar plunge.
But it did not stop you from plunging.
Actually, it did. Nobody went in.
Nobody went in?
Nobody went in, man.
Was this the first year ever?
In 27 years, this is the first year that we actually
did. It was too cold for you to plunge?
The ice. We weren't like Jesus walking on water or anything
but
like
I saw
that.
you with the ice pick. I saw the video.
That was AI, brother.
They AI Tommy Osa. AI, get away from my Tommy Osa.
AI. So it's pretty wild.
So the first time
I'm on the air, I can't talk. I'll call you back.
The first time in 26 years, no polar plunges.
Yeah.
But exactly. You did raise money.
Oh, absolutely.
Tell us how much money you raised and who it went to.
The final tally isn't in, but it's tens of thousands of dollars.
Wow.
Tens of thousands. I mean, they do this every year. I think the top that they did was like 100,000 for 3 to 4 children locally that have medically fragile conditions. And
that's what you guys are aiming for
every year,
right?
Every year. Yeah. I'm not a part of the Stony Point Seals board. I just, I'm a volunteer like everybody else. We maintain the website largely.
You are a SEAL.
They do the
You are wearing your polar bear plunge robe right now.
That is true.
In the studio.
That is true. Got to represent. So yeah, no, it's a big deal. And we very much enjoy every year that happens. We and there's planning involved. I mean, the SEALs, they put together at least 6 months of planning. They select the children, they meet with the police force, the fire department, volunteer ambulance corps, just in case, because, there's a bunch of freezing people out there.
Right.
And yeah, it was a really good event. You could catch it at rocklandnews.com. We took some video, and we had some interviews with some people. So it was a really good time. We'll have John Fox and Michael Lydon and Kevin Nolan, who are big organizers inside of the SEALs. And we're going to have them talk about how the event went. And you can still donate if you go to stonypointseals.com.
All right.
Yeah. Should we thank our sponsors?
I was just looking at our sponsors list, wondering if any of them provides heat other than their ambient, like you go and sit at the restaurant, right? So like someone like Kobe Sushi, if you want to get warmed up, after going to the polar bear plunge, you eat some sushi, you listen to some jazz, you have some sake, it warms you up nice.
And we had the sushi on Saturday night, and fantastic sushi, Mike. Fantastic.
I mean, they always do a great job.
Yeah. So you can check them out at KobeNewCityNY.com. I'm sorry, KobeNewCity.com. That's what it is. Yabu Fence Company.
Yabu Fence.
Yabu! Yeah. So we kind of supplanted that. By the way, just as a disclaimer, nobody asked us to do that. Yabu Fence didn't ask us to do that.
No,
but it just makes a lot of sense. Every time that I go past
we are
that
compulsed.
place, they're located in West Nyack, New York. They're an amazing company, 65 years and counting of helping businesses across Rockland and residents across Rockland have good, well, let's just say residential borders.
Good neighbors have good fences.
Yes, most definitely.
Now, if your neighbor
happens
to have any pests in their house,
who
do they call?
They call the pest control company of choice, and that is Dana Pest Control, located in Tompkins Cove, New York. They have been together, third generation, family owned, and they take care of all pests across the Hudson Valley. Not your relatives, but everybody else. They just take care of everything. And
bugs, the rodents.
Yep. All the creepy crawlies,
all the
whole 9 yards.
Anything that's creeping and crawling, maybe some things that are flying.
Let me put it this way. In that movie with Indiana Jones, where he's going through
the snakes
tunnel,
or the spiders?
The spiders.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Temple of Doom. Okay. So if he was walking through there and he'd be like, okay, stuff's going on, he would call Dana Pest Control if he could.
Except Dana Pest Control wasn't around in 1938, were they?
Well, in spirit, because the way I think about these successful businesses is they're imbued with the spirit of entrepreneurialism, especially early on, so that they can help people around them. And Dana Pest Control does it right, man. I got to call Harrison Ford about that. Easy Temp, located in Hackensack, New Jersey, for all your ice machine repairs. Yeah, and your commercial refrigeration.
Okay, just because it's freezing cold outside does not mean you don't want your beer to be cold inside, not frozen but cold.
Yes.
You don't want your chicken getting all salmonella-like because it's gotten too warm.
Yeah, you don't want that. Please, you don't want that. And again,
it's too cold outside to actually put your food outside if you don't want it to be frozen.
Most definitely.
So you might need to call Easy Temp to fix your fridge.
Located in Hackensack, New Jersey, they can help you with all your ice machine repairs. If you're a deli or a restaurant, commercial refrigeration for many, many decades. I know the family over there too. It's a lot of really good family-owned businesses.
There you go. Yeah. Now, if you're looking for some properties, we have a couple names on our list. Tom, tell us about them.
We do. Susan Bova from Coldwell Banker Realty. Lauren Molino Muller from Howard Hannaran Realty. Two fantastic individuals that have been in the real estate business for many years, and they look very youthful nonetheless. However, they can help you find a really good quality property in Rockland County. As a matter of fact, and commercial too. The old 7-Eleven building on Central Highway?
Yes.
Yeah. So Lauren Molino Muller, she's the one that is the realtor of note on that property.
All right.
Yeah, and that's a pretty good property. We should have them on and talk about various properties.
We should. And more about the trends in. Because I've been hearing two things lately.
Mm-hmm.
One is that rich people rent and don't buy at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And the poor folk can't buy. They just If you have a house, you keep your house if you're poor.
Mhm.
That's what I've been hearing. Now, I have only been hearing that on the street, not through any realtors, and I would like to get the realtor's perspective on that.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if we did this before lunchtime, before breakfast time, I would suggest everyone go to my favorite bagel shop, Whole Shop Bagels.
Oh, yeah. Whole Shop Bagels located in Haverstraw, New York. We were just there. We were headed over to Tarrytown.
We were. Tommy had to get to the city, and we will discuss that bit of news in a bit, because that is probably the physical biggest bit of news that we have today.
Yes, we have physical news today,
Physical news.
ladies and germs.
But going back to Whole Shop Bagels,
Yeah.
they do not have just bagels. They have hot food.
They have hot food.
Sandwiches. They have all sorts of stuff. They make the best iced tea and lemonade. Clever, the owner, makes it by his own two hands.
Yeah, Clevin and Victoria are awesome over there. We had some great coffee. They got like different types of coffee and
We had
food.
coffee. We
Forget
had
about
sandwiches. It was great.
Yeah. 99 signs. Mike, a business without a sign.
It's a sign of no business.
Yeah, you got to have a good sign. You got to have a good sign that's like in front of a lot of people. And you got to have a good sign that's in front of a lot of people that is going to stand the test of time. And that's where 99 Signs comes into play, because since they've been in business for so long, they have a well set up manufacturing facility to create all of your sort of signs, your digital signs, your billboard signs, your banners. They did the banners for Rockland Music Fest.
There you go, folks.
So, it's a good deal. You check them out at 99signs.com. And if you're driving over there and you get into an accident, well, you need auto body repair,
So, well, let's look at it this way. We are in the land of ice and snow. It is almost like we are in Hoth or Norway or something.
Somewhere.
There's a lot of ice on the road. There's a lot of things being kicked up. And if you have any dings, any scratches, you're shoveling your car and you accidentally gouge your paint job.
Nobody wants that.
Nobody
right?
wants that. But where do you go?
Yeah, you head over to FC Perfection. They're located in Congers, New York, and they can turn your Ford Pinto into a Ferrari, at least from the outside, like how it looks. They really know how to fix car auto bodies.
All right.
Yeah, it's Frank over there.
Now, if your car was a mess from the inside,
yes,
could you call our next sponsor, or is it just for your home and business?
Think of it as psychology. So let's say, for instance, that you're
clean up your mind.
You're seeking inward guidance, and I think this is Dalai Lama level, maybe not, but certain individuals would say you want to clear your mind of all that clutter. Well, if you want to clear your house of all that clutter and get it out in record time, you have to call Clean Space Maintenance and Management Company, located.
They do both residential and commercial, correct?
They do. So,
but not your car.
Yeah, no, not your car. But I mean, they could probably haul away the car, but it's mostly like
what was in the car.
Stuff that you need to have hauled away. And Tony D'Elia, again, family-owned business, is second generation is starting to take over there. So you basically, bring up the trailer. The trailer is like, is an 24-footer by 18. I forget the exact dimensions.
It's a big space for your junk.
You could just throw stuff in there. You can unclutter your entire facility of everything.
Put your junk in their trunk.
Yeah. Clean Space Maintenance Management Company. You can visit them on the web at cleanspacemmc.us.
Now, the next one I really have. It's a little bit of a build-up because it's the big 1-2.
That's right.
1-2. We are looking to do Rockland Music Fest 12, I'm told. Is this true, Tommy?
I cannot confirm nor deny the rumors, sir.
But there are rumors.
I cannot confirm nor deny the
rumors.
There
are definitely rumors, whether the rumors are true or not.
I'm going to put it this way. When something happens and then, his response is like, we're going to respond at the time and place of our own choosing.
Anyway, Rockland Music Fest, also one of the sponsors of the show.
Yes, sir. And I'm sorry I had to be so tough with you, thousands of people that are listening to this. But yeah, we're working some things in the background that I think is going to be good for all. And
the company that puts the rock back in Rockland.
Yes.
Boulder Stadium.
Very much so.
Rockland
so we want
Boulders,
to thank the New York Boulders for being our premier sponsor for 2026 on Rockland's News. You've been very helpful, and I think this is going to open up a lot of new doors, a lot of new opportunities, and warm those seats over there, because we're going to be talking about all those baseball games that are happening this year over there. They got
and they're not just baseball. They
Yep.
have concerts, they have events, community events. We hope to be part of some of those. And boy, do those seats need to be warm, since it's 16 degrees outside right now.
6,500 person facility that can watch baseball games every day during the summer. It's just amazing.
And they got a playground out there, lots of parking.
Synthetic turf now.
Well, watch those ACLs, ball players.
Yeah, tell me about it. Lindsey Vonn. Did you hear about that?
I did not.
Dude, I mean, just off the and I apologize, this isn't Rockland-based information, but I just got to bring it up. So Lindsey Vonn is the downhill skier.
Oh, right. She's not from Rockland.
Correct. She had a torn ACL, and she I guess taped it up and ironed it up with, and she freaking raced.
Did she win?
No, she broke her leg.
Oh no.
Yeah, dude.
Oh no.
It's like one of those things where I'm curious what happened. I'm not even gonna watch.
No,
I am not gonna watch.
Because that might make you vomit.
Also, I have in my left knee, I have a torn ACL since 19 years old. All right. And I walked gingerly on this mofo for a long time. And I can get into that story. I mean, it wasn't severe enough where I needed surgery, but there's still lingering. But we could talk about that.
If you needed training, who would you call?
Ivy Rehab Physical Therapy, located in West Haverstraw, New York. Yeah, that's right. We're going to have Dr. Nick Kirkpatrick. We're going to have him on the show to talk about that at some point. Oh, that's going to be a tough show for me, Mike.
Why?
Because the ACL thing, if he talks about the rehab,
it's going to make you cry. Am I going to have a box of tissues for you?
You might have to sing "Soft Kitty" to me.
Oh, okay. Hold your hand a little bit and tell you it's going to be okay.
Yeah, see if you could do it in a high-pitched voice.
The bad man is not coming to take your knee away.
Yeah. Well, that's in my dreams.
Take my knees away.
And stuff like that. All right, so let's get back to the news. We talked about the freezing cold with the Charity Seals event, but I'm going to read the news blurbs as well. Despite brutal cold and sub-zero winds chills,
and it was brutal.
Yeah, unbelievable. It felt like it was 15 degrees below zero. The actual temperature was about 2 degrees.
The folks from way upstate New York are laughing at us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it hasn't even gotten to the coldest that they get.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons why I don't like the idea of moving north. Nearly 750 people gathered Sunday at the Stony Point Seawall for the 27th annual Stony Point Seals Polar Plunge. More than 100 participants marched in swimsuits, Mike, during the traditional parade, and they had the bagpipers in the front going. Okay, I can't do that.
I think the bagpipe sounded better.
Much better. Much better. I was dressed as a penguin.
None of my culture from the places of my heritage are bagpipe people, but I love the bagpipes. I don't know what it is about them, but I love listening to bagpipes.
It's ceremonial. It's traditional. And one of the things is when they hold the bag and they do the thing where they're pumping air into the actual pipes.
Yeah.
You hear that low rumble.
Yeah.
I don't have the exact tone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. So yeah, they marched down to the river. No one entered the Hudson River this year and if you see the pictures on Rockland News' Facebook page, and special thanks to Jessica Bowen Osa, definitely of relation. And she was the one that took the pictures. And you could see that the ice is at least 1.5 to 2 feet on top of the river because they had to move it and they tried to get through it. But yeah, it's just huge pictures of ice. Nobody was going into the water yesterday. It was impossible.
Because you couldn't get to the water.
Correct.
Exactly. Had you been able to get to the water, would you have jumped in?
I pondered it. I did. When I got down there, I was in my penguin costume just for the hell of it.
Yeah.
And
for the halibut?
For the halibut.
Sounds kind of fishy to me.
Broke a Tommy. Yeah, so it was I was running down the road in my penguin costume and I saw everybody lined up and they were in their swimsuits and I had my swimsuit on under the penguin costume. And then I just made a decision. I was like, you know what? This is for the guys that got here before me. And I was just like, let me just hang out. And, we just watched the procession. And again, the proceeds go to 3 children that are have medically fragile conditions. You can learn more over at stonypointseals.com. Let me actually go there just to mention their names. So the three children are Skyar, Lizzie, and Aria. And they're, you take a look at the kids. It's just, and they're dealing with some stuff right now.
So again, this goes back to being good citizens, being good neighbors. And if you have abundance, please give to those who have scarcity.
Absolutely. Yeah. And medically, the medical conditions are very expensive. So you can make a difference. Head over to stonypointseals.com. You can catch all the fun stuff that happened yesterday. There's going to be some video coming out. So we're keeping the thing going for the three kids.
So there you go.
Yeah.
So what happened next?
One?
Oh, the next one.
Yeah.
So we need to take a little bit of silence
after
I read this next blurb, because a dedicated public servant and true community leader has passed. Former Rockland County legislator and longtime Orangetown official Dennis Troy has died following complications from cancer. Troy served 20 years on the Orangetown board and most recently was deputy supervisor. He was active in youth sports community organizations across Pearl River and Orangetown. And just last December, the town renamed the Orangeburg Road Athletic Complex in his honor.
Yeah.
Officials and residents alike are remembering Troy as a dedicated public servant and true community leader.
Yeah.
Let's take a few seconds. All right.
Yeah. Well done, Mike. That's a thoughtful way. We just got, we heard about it over the weekend. So, but that encapsulates it right there.
We want everyone who lives in Rockland to do the best that they can. And they may not be recognized such as a town board supervisor or anything like that.
Really.
But do the best you can to be a better citizen and neighbor. Encourage other folks to do that, because the only way we're going to get by, the only way we're going to get through all of the madness that goes on through this world is to huddle together, especially when it's 16 degrees outside.
Oh my goodness, it really is like unbelievable. So yeah, absolutely. Rest in peace, y'all. All right, so the North Rockland Chamber of Commerce has received the Sean V. Hart Making a Difference Award for its advocacy on behalf of local businesses. The recognition highlights the Chamber's efforts during prolonged Route 9W construction in Stony Point, where businesses reported millions of dollars in losses. The exact amount is over $13 million. Chamber leaders worked closely with merchants and elected officials throughout 2025 to document the impacts. And there's a link on the North Rockland Chamber website where if you're a local business, you can enter in what you anticipate that you lost during the downturn during the summer of 2025, where there was a lot of construction going on, and to push for some relief. And this is what the chamber has been aiming toward doing. They're in touch with the local public officials and also state officials. The officials say that we're at the event, the Sean V. Hart Award, say that the award that they're giving to the North Rockland Chamber reflects sustained community-centered leadership during quite a difficult year for business.
So what I would like to circle this. We talk about corporations a lot. You and I argue about corporations. I want to redefine them. We're going to talk about either corporations that are Wall Street corporations or Main Street corporations. This is talking about the Main Street corporation. This is talking about the small restaurant on 9W. This is talking about the tax preparer, who's your local guy, not H&R Block, just the local guy, right? This is talking about the local pharmacy, your local printer, those kind of folks. And the best way to vote in this country is with your dollar.
Right.
So every time Tommy and I decide we have to go and get ourselves some fuel for our bio machines for these bodies, we discuss where we're going to go. And almost always it is a local restaurant, local coffee shop.
Yep, totally.
And why? Because those dollar bills that you are giving to those businesses stay in Rockland. They help pay mortgages. They help pay the rent. They help pay O&R. They help put kids in school. it's the best way you can actually support your local community is to buy local, stay local. And I get that there are things that you cannot get here that are not manufactured here. We are not growing bananas. But if you're buying an apple, why aren't you going to Davies or the orchards?
Exactly, because it's right here.
Right. And it is as
fresher.
homegrown as you can get.
Fresher, yeah. Exactly. So shop local. And, the stat that I always mention about the 61 cents, 61 cents of every dollar that you spend in a small business stays in that community. So keep that in mind. Well, good job, North Rockland Chamber of Commerce. As you know, and I get the chance of speaking with Stephanie all the time. She's really a great president there. I want to shout out Mary Morrison Rodriguez, Rocky Alexander, Julia Kushner. She wasn't able to make it at the event, but I'm glad that she's in the mix. And of course, Lauren Isaac Shimko. And she's got some really great math skills. So, big corporations better watch out.
Oh, boy.
You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, good job, guys. You know that the job is not done, but keep it going. And let's see where it goes.
All right. So, moving south down into New City.
Yeah.
The New City Shopping Center struggles to attract new business. The New City Shopping Center on North Main Street continues to face vacancies nearly a year after ShopRite's grand opening.
Right.
Since the new ownership took over in 2022, the most adjacent storefronts have closed, reportedly due to higher rents. Only David's Bagels remain open next to the anchor store. Several former tenants have relocated elsewhere in New City, leaving questions about the center's future as redevelopment continues. I was in New City last week, and this is not about this specific section of New City, but farther south on Main Street. As a matter of fact, as far south as you can get.
Where the trains go slow?
Well, no. There's no trains here, but what there is, there's burgers and beer.
Oh, yeah. District 96.
I got to sit down with John from District 96 and the Burger Loft and have a conversation about him, his businesses, what he's trying to do. Did you know that he is a graduate of Clarkstown South? He is
I didn't know that.
Homegrown Rockland citizen and entrepreneur. He started off as a pizza guy, and I don't mean I should say a pizza boy, because the age he started at, he was a mere teenager.
Gotcha. Okay, my type of entrepreneur.
When I believe when we go check the interview, he said he was 19 years old when he was offered a partnership in the pizza place that he was working at, which he took, and he expanded that and decided that he wanted to get into the burger business, and then he wanted to get into the beer business, and now he has, I'm going to call it two locations. There's the New City location, which is the Burger Loft right next to District 96.
I love that place.
And they are right next to each other, although they look like two separate businesses. You can walk between the two of them.
Yeah.
And then they opened up a second location in Nyack, in the old RCC Nyack space. So on the corner of Broadway and Main. When I asked John about the differences, he said they are two different experiences because you're serving two different populations. The menus are similar. The beer is the same. But when you're going into the places, you're getting a different vibe. You're getting a completely different vibe.
Exactly. And the vibe really makes a difference in a restaurant. It's it creates the theme and, dare I say, the mood. Right?
Correct.
So if you're in a jovial mood, or you're hanging out watching sports, or if it's a more like a professional atmosphere, or just fun.
Well, or even from that idea of what kind of fun, right? There's going out as a single person or a non-parent person, and then there's I need a place to bring my family where I can watch the game, have a few beers, eat some good food, and have my kids with me. New City is set up as a family place, even when you're in the bar brewery side. It's bright, it's open, it doesn't feel like you're in some weird, like, sketchy bar. This is the place where the beer is made. Right. And next door is the place where you sit down and you eat your delicious dinner. To hear his story about, because he was telling me that his folks at one point got laid off when he was in high school. So it's not like he got a lot of money, couldn't go to college. So he did the best he could with what he had.
Mm-hmm.
And he turned his passions into something that is really, he's being really successful in. He has reached out to the community. They do a lot of community events over there. They host parties. So along the lines of how we feel about Kobe Sushi,
Right.
which happens to be down the street.
It's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah. They're like about a mile away from each other. Not even.
Right. I recommend you guys going in, checking out what John has done. His beer is amazing. His food is amazing. Again, the atmosphere between Nyack and New City, different. So go check out both those places. And we will be doing interviews, spotlighting Rockland folk going forward, right? This was our very first one.
Exactly.
John was very excited to be a part. We were excited to talk with him. And I want to encourage all of our listeners, all the citizens, to vote with your dollar.
Mm-hmm.
And go try some burgers and beer.
Yeah, absolutely.
I recommend the Kolsch, spelled Kolsh. That is I think that's one of his flagship beers, but it is becoming one of my most favorite styles of the 500 different styles of beer.
Yep. It's definitely not a Coors Light.
And it is not an IPA.
Yeah. So, and Mike always gets on my case whenever, like, we're hanging out at a music festival or whatever. And, I'll be like, yeah, Bud Light, whatever. And he's like, get a real beer.
And by get a real beer, get a local beer.
Yeah. And you can do that at District 96. And you did the interview with them.
Right.
So you have the audio, and we're going to post that tomorrow on our new Rockland News show, which will air at 3:30. And it's called The Small Business
Spotlight.
Spotlight. Yeah. I didn't have it in front of me, but Mike, you named it. I
Small
came up with
Spotlight.
Boots on the Ground, and in reflection, my name is not as good as yours. So Small Business Spotlight.
And if you have a small business that you would like us to spotlight, please contact us at
rocklandsnews.com/alert. And you can also post a press release. We could load that up to Rockland events if there's an upcoming event. If you're a retailer, we can put you on rocklandshopping.com. Over 400 retailers on there, Mike.
And if you're looking for entertainment for your venue, we have Sponsor Band.
Yep. And there's a whole bunch of other things that we'll talk about. But before we end the show, Mike, I'd like to mention something that happened last week.
What happened last week?
So it was very interesting. And for those of you that listen to this show, you probably get the general impression that I'm a little bit nuts.
Only a little bit?
Yeah.
Is it a walnut, a Brazil nut?
Yeah. Now, I'm going to bring this up, and this is in my first book. I did 2 books. I'm working on my third. But there was a quote that I saw on a local community-based, I don't want to call it a church exactly, but it was a congregation hall where people get together and they get along.
Okay.
And it really, 10 years ago, it really got to me. It says, the ambitious person climbs, but the faithful man builds. Faithful in something like a foundation. And that really, really rang true with me. And that's what I spent 10 years doing, is like, building up the companies and everything. However,
we are trying to build community here at Rockland News.
Yeah. Now, we have been like mega charging our energy over the last several years for the next wave of, let's just say, momentum. And it happened last week, Mike. So, and, for those of you that are listening, piece the puzzle on your own together. It's not for me to tell you where I'm going with this, but basically, WRCR radio shut down. They sold to WABC. All right. I've been in contact with them for the last several months. They had me on WABC radio yesterday, Super Bowl Sunday, at around 9:00 in the morning. The person that did the interview was John Katzimatidis.
And you played a recording of him just last week, right?
And it's here right now. So basically, I'm not going to do the whole interview right now. We're going to put this on the tomorrow show, when we get the time. But we're going to bring this up, and here we go.
Looking for financial insights you can trust?
Close to retirement.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Sunday morning. Well, let's go up to Rockland County, and with us today is Tom Osa, and he is the president of the Rockland News. Well, Tom, every Sunday we go to different counties. Give us an update. What the heck is going on in Rockland County?
Well, there's a lot going on, John. Thanks for having me on. The latest and the greatest right now is that the Palisades Center has been sold to VD Palisades Holdings officially through an auction that was held in New York City on February
That's our
4th.
big mall, folks.
Yep, Palisades Mall.
$460 million. It went for a song at $175 million. So within
Wow.
a 10-minute time, 10-minute time frame, approximately $290 million worth of value was just wiped out. But that doesn't mean that the mall.
And we're going to stop there just because I want to do the full interview. You can catch it tomorrow on the Small Business Spotlight. We're going to be talking about some things that are shifting around. So if you do the pieces of the puzzle together, ladies and gentlemen, okay, really quick. The Palisades Center was at one time valued at $460 million. Okay. Now, they went into some really bad default and debt. I mean, read the story. It's at rocklandsnews.com. Okay. Now, a judge basically said, you can have it for, I mean, literally.
A song.
Yeah, a song.
Right.
So, $290 million worth of value of that mall was, I mean, it's on the record that that's what the mall went for. Okay. They also filed tax grievances, and basically Clarkstown and the mall owners settled on the value of the mall being $300 million.
How did they come up with that number?
That's a great question. That's a great question. I think that's lawyering.
As a general citizen and listener and Rocklander, I don't understand how some of these numbers have been come up with. Like, I get how the judge is saying, well, something needs to be done with this building, so let's cut the value and let's get something done with this.
Right.
But how did they come up with that $300 million number in the first place?
Yeah. I mean, I want to think that it's not completely arbitrary because they lawyer up on both sides. They have to, right?
Right.
So I think they get into a room together and they bring all their discovery and evidence, and then they just argue it out without calling each other a-holes. No, I'm dead serious. I am dead serious. And I'm solid on this one. If you ever meet your local provincial lawyer, right?
Can we find those lawyers and get them on the air?
Alan.
Which Alan?
Alan, from Haverstraw. He's the guy that does the saxophone playing. He's a really cool dude.
Okay.
Alan McGeorge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we get him on the air?
Corinne McGeorge's son. And he's also on the music scene, man. So he would definitely be on this, and we'll just talk casually. Now, look, I'm not knocking the law profession. I'm actually, saying that this is a really cool thing. They bring their discovery and they go at each other like verbal warriors, except they say it nicely.
It's not just about the mall and that value. Like, I have noticed the value of all of the homes in Rockland. And again, maybe we need to get Lauren Molino
Muller or Susan Bova from Coldwell Banker Realty
to ask them this question. How is it that the housing prices in Rockland have gone to 3 and 4 times what they were even 10 years ago?
Supply and demand. I brought that up on the conversation with WABC Radio.
You think it's just supply and demand?
7,000 unit deficit. If you don't have enough, then it causes people like, where are we going to go? We need shelter. And what is the person that sees a profit when he sees that much demand? The cost of the supply is going to raise because why? It can be done.
So, but you end up pricing the regular citizen out of a place to live.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And it sucks. It sucks. And for the record, I don't own any, physical, residential or commercial property. This is just my purview of, the property owner landscape. You know what bothers me? I'm going to throw this out there. And we actually got to get off the show in a few minutes. And I apologize. I have a meeting at 11:30. But the property owners that basically were given money for easement all along this 9W corridor, okay?
Yeah,
all along this 9W corridor during the pipeline construction, and the retailers lost $13 million approximately. And you know what the property owners gave to the retailers that were suffering? Nothing, not even a rent abatement. And that pisses me off. So North Rockland Chamber, I hope you keep going with this thing. And by the way, just as a side note, Mike, we started the show about, we were bringing up some things about Orange and Rockland.
Correct.
Okay. So at very least, Mike, you and I have questions
We do.
for Orange and Rockland.
We have questions for Orange and Rockland. We have questions for realtor. We have questions all about Rockland County and how it works, because we want you, the listener, you, the citizen, to be more informed. We want you to be better citizens by having better information.
Yeah. And Mike and I are committed to walking that line with you so that we can achieve what some philosophers will call the greater good. And that is toward which all things aim. We're going to attempt to do that and find some truths in certain things. And we're going to have fun doing it, ladies and germs.
And one of the ways we have fun is we like to promote music.
We do.
Again, one of the very first times I met Tom Osa over a decade ago, he told me he wanted to put the rock back in Rockland. He was complaining that he could not go see music outside his county, so he helped perpetuate the music scene in Rockland County.
Yep.
There are now places, I mean, there was before, but there's more and more places and more encouragement of going out and seeing live acts.
Absolutely.
So I encourage all of you to not just go and buy the big ticket items and go into the city and go to Prudential and go to those places. Go to the small places. Go to Nyack, go to New City, go to Haverstraw. Go find those places where music is being played and support your local musician.
Absolutely. And we're going to be having some more updates on if a Rockland Music Fest for this year is coming up. But I will say this, if we do have a music festival, you can be certain of three things. One, you're going to hear some great music. Two, you're going to get some really great food and beverage. And three, proceeds will go to the charitable recipient of choice of the year. We're not going to announce that yet, but also to the bands that are performing. So
and for Tommy will be stressed beyond stressed.
Yeah, pretty much. Do I seem stressed right now?
No, because you're not working on Rockland Music Fest.
Yeah, exactly. But that's actually what I have to do next. So anyway, thank you everybody for being here. We're just going to play the outro music by the lovely Ilana.
And then we'll talk about our sponsors.
You're listening to Rockland News, available on Apple, Spotify, and online at rocklandnews.com. Thanks for joining us today.
I don't know.
What are you doing?
Tom Osa and Mike Kluger.
All right, we want to thank everybody for joining us on AM Rockland News today. Tell your wife, tell your friends, tell your kids, tell the 8th grade, tell everybody that we are on to win it for you, Rockland County. We want to thank our sponsors, Yabu Fence Company, Dana Pest Control, Easy Temp. Mike, take the next three.
Kobe Sushi, Susan Bova, Lauren Molino Muller, Whole Shot Bagels,
99 Signs, FZ Perfection, Clean Space Maintenance Management Company,
Rockland Music Fest,
and of course, the New York Bullders baseball team. Thank you for sponsoring us for the year. We'll be back at 4 o'clock today. Thanks for joining us. I'm Tom Osa.
And I'm Mike Luger.
And we'll catch you next time. Peace out.
Be well.